Yeah. What's up? Hey, Jen. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
That's what we're going to start out with.
Yeah.
Your level of starting is really, really low. Hey, Jen. What are we talking about today?
I don't know. You haven't told me yet.
Oh, I forgot. Hey, let's talk about first comes the first. Look at this. Nice. We're down here. You can see our wine barrel now.
The table that no one can see.
The table that nobody can see. That is completed.
All this work.
Months
and months of work.
She's so angry about it not being able to be seen.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be all right. Hey, well, we're going to talk about a lot of things today. A lot of things. We got a good show going.
What made you pick this topic?
What made me pick this topic? You know, ultimately, what made me pick this topic is I know from our experience in EMS, and there's new people coming into this world, into the EMS, fire, and police world that believe that once you get home, that it's different. You're fine. You know, you take off the uniform and you keep walking. And everything that you've seen, you've experienced, you've dealt with for the 24 hours or the 48-hour shift basically is left at the doorway. And I think this is a segue. I think I've been wanting to do this topic about mental health and EMS. I think this is the part one of the series. Mm-hmm. I think the second part will be even almost just as good because we've hopefully get
a hold of that contact we're looking to get.
Hopefully get that contact that has a really good. They've got a big motor.
Let's not give it away.
Yeah. Well, okay, we won't give it away. But today's topic, we're going to talk about taking off the uniform. Do we ever really take off the uniform?
Okay.
I mean, we know a lot of people.
Physically, we do. But
yeah, physically,
mentally,
we do. But there's a lot of people like me who, whenever we pull up on an accident, I'm still a paramedic, and I still feel the need to get out and help. Mm-hmm. And I know you having done it the same way.
It's hard for me now. I look at things going on, and I'm like, I want to get out there.
Yeah.
But I can't yet.
So, but yeah, today we're going to talk about, do you really take that uniform off? Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Schutz, and I'm the lead medic.
Hi, I'm James Schutz, and well, I'm the lead medic. And together, we're the Whiny Medics. What are you talking about? My table over there.
It feels uneven.
It's not uneven. This is 3/4 inch plywood that is all laminated together.
It's not smooth.
It feels like wood. It's like real wood. This is not the...
It's not supposed to feel smooth?
No, not completely smooth.
If I sit on it, am I going to get a thorn?
No, you won't get... And first of all, don't sit on my table. Haven't you ever heard? Tables are for glasses, not... Oh, yeah, that other thing.
Asses?
Asses. Damn it. We can't say asses on this show. But yeah, hey, how's it going? Okay, so what are we drinking this evening?
Well, you said we haven't done this one yet. I thought we had.
No, we talked about it. Remember we talked about it with the Dr. Pepper, but we didn't actually highlight it.
Do you like the spout?
I love the spout. It is amazing. I do like the spouts on those, so we don't have to worry about taking those off. This is from our trip to Tennessee.
I wonder if it'll fit on our other ones that we have.
Yeah, it will. They'll fit on all of them. They're all mason jars.
Even though they're not the same.
They're all mason jars. Okay. So this is from our trip to Tennessee.
Why are you taking my show?
Is this your part? I'm thirsty. I'm just saying.
Okay, so we've all heard of the big famous moonshine company.
Old Smokies.
So this one I had not heard of, but you had. Mm-hmm. So this is Sugarland's Shine. Mm-hmm. So when we were in Gatlinburg, we checked them out. I say we checked them out. We ran in there and got these.
Yeah, we didn't do a tasting.
So if I ever give anybody any advice at all, do not go to Gatlinburg
the week after Christmas.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
The line for this thing was out the door and down.
Plus the social distancing.
Every day.
Plus the social distancing was an issue.
God forbid you wanted a Starbucks coffee there. Or pancakes. That was crazy. I can't believe how many people like pancakes. Okay. So this is a sipping cream. It says Appalachian sipping cream liqueur. So we've had, the Old Smokies Java, which we really like. They have a, what's the other one? It's a beach one, but it's kind of coconutty. This one is dark chocolate coffee flavored, and it's a creamy liqueur. I made James take it in a shot with Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, that had a little Dr. Pepper in it.
But it's really good in coffee.
It is very good in coffee. And since it is such a nasty day outside, and we kind of been all in the house today all by ourselves, hanging out doing our jobs here at home, we decided to make some coffee. Hey, why is that halfway gone? It's 3/4 gone, because 3/4 of a pint. I mean, where is it all gone? Because I haven't drinking that much of it.
I'm home a lot.
We need to stop. You got to stop that. That's not nice. I don't understand how you're going to drink all my shine. So she's got hot coffee and I have iced coffee. And my iced coffee that I've fixed up a little bit here is actually Fire Department's Black Cherry Bourbon coffee. It's very good.
You didn't make that for me?
Well, no, I just made some real quick. I made this earlier. This was for breakfast. No. I take that back. This was the iced coffee. This was the summer moon coffee from last night that had the smell. The smell.
Okay. So let's go into this. So the coffee he's talking about is Summer Moon.
Summer Moon out of Austin, Texas.
Yeah, I think they were originally in like Buda or Kyle, somewhere around there. But they've grown into the Austin, Round Rock, Cedar Park area. Yep. They fire roast their beans. They are so good. But they have this moon milk.
Moon milk is very good.
Was it moon milk?
It's moon milk.
Tastes like ice cream, melted ice cream. So anyway, I usually get the Blue Moon. And they actually take the cup and spritz it with lavender. You wouldn't expect it, but it's a very good not
coffee.
A very high lavender taste. It's so good.
It's good.
It's so good. Here in town, we like Mojos.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But in Austin, we like Blue Moon. They've ruined me for Starbucks. I can't.
Yeah, I can't handle Starbucks coffees too much.
So anyway, so this one that he got last night is like an orange. I think it's called Campfire.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Something like that.
Ember. I don't remember, but it had notes of orange in it. But when we made it last night,
let me tell you,
it smelled like weed.
Oh my God, it smelled. I don't understand why the house smelled like weed.
And now I have to wonder why my 19-year-old knows why it smelled like weed.
She's like, "Oh, I know what that smell is." I was like, "What?" She's like, "It smells like weed." Why does it smell like weed? I'm like, "It's the coffee."
And how do you know what weed smells like?
Yeah, why does the weed smell in the coffee?
Anyway, okay. So Summer Moon coffee. Sugarland's Shine.
I'm moving this close to you.
Look, I feel like it's just gonna like fall
that
over
way you
on
don't
me.
have to. No, it's not. You just don't have to talk so loud.
You just don't like me being. No, I don't. Look,
it's all
I'm
about
done with
audio
you.
Production here. Here you go. Drink your warm coffee. I got my iced coffee.
So mine is hot coffee. I think it's just Christmas Starbucks coffee.
And mine is that Summer Moon, and it is amazing. Yeah.
And we put nice little coasters down that Layla made.
Yeah.
So that we didn't ruin our
new
table with cold and heat.
Yeah.
So anyway, so if you can check out Sugarland Shine. We have another one that's a banana cream. I'm not so big on that one, but I like that.
It's actually not banana cream; it's banana pudding.
Oh, banana pudding. That's right.
Oh man, it is amazing. Just a drink on Shine. It's good, but it'll sneak up on you. We also have one of their moonshines that is butterscotch.
Yes, and
we haven't tried that yet. It's a pretty cool place to go to.
Oh, the
in
amaretto
Tennessee.
we got from Old Smokies.
Yeah, those all come from Old Smokies.
So anyway, Sugarland Shine today. Sugarland Shine. We're not gonna say anything else about their competitor. My God.
Oh no, I'm not going to say about that.
Sugarland Shine.
Yeah. I'm just saying we come back with more alcohol.
Don't listen to him.
We come back with more alcohol than most people when they go to Tennessee.
Why else do you go to Tennessee?
Exactly. Well, I like everything out in Tennessee. It's pretty over there.
Didn't you have to answer a survey about how much you drink the other day?
Yeah, actually, that was this morning. Well, I got for you guys in Texas, there's a questionnaire going out. They're doing a study at University of Texas Health Studies in Houston for EMS workers. So, and it kind of partakes into the mental health, the mental health aspect of this. So it kind of fit for me whenever I just happened to answer that survey this morning. But I really, this thought process of being a paramedic, being an EMT, being a police officer, being a first responder, a firefighter, and the idea mentality of, going home and you take off the uniform and it's a whole, you're a whole different you. You forget everything. I don't think it's necessarily true. I think I want to be blunt and upfront with those that are brand new EMTs coming in this world. I do it with all of our EMT students that we have that come through and tell them that there are parts of this that you're going to experience that you will last with you forever. Can you agree with that?
Yeah, that's true.
There's times when we close our eyes and we see a call and we see a patient's face and just, they can remember that call.
We discussed this not too long ago. We did. I think it was in one of our other podcasts for some reason, but we talked about your first pediatric with your fire.
Pediatric call.
Yeah. So
and how it affected me on that call made a difference.
Yeah. And as long as your company you have a good support group, which he does, and at my group too. I when we had bad calls, we would check on each other, because we were at different stations. My crew knew if I had a bad call, they'd say, "Hey, you doing okay?" Same thing with me. I checked on my crews to make sure they were doing good. I would check on my crews the next day.
Well, we have to make sure we're taking care of each other. It's an important part of being a team and really working together on that stuff. That's a huge difference when we start looking at how we're going to handle the call afterwards and everything else and be able to have some longevity in this business.
And they have debriefings.
I think the initial span of debriefings, people say a lot of things and say that, debriefings, you don't need those. Those are for these snowflakes, they're for the sissies, but they're not. I think I wholeheartedly believe that debriefing a crew after a major call and talking about it and allowing that, it really allows them to get some of those thoughts off their chest.
And it's educational.
It is hugely educational because they can use whatever come from it for the next call.
Yes. So when we get home, we do take off that uniform physically, but mentally, no, and it's just, you and I have been on the road and saw something like, ooh, and then we talk about it. It's always it's what we know.
It's kind of like, in our last,
it is a part of our life.
Right.
Yeah.
In our last episode, we talked about having that outlet as a wife or a husband to discuss EMS, your calls and things like that, and be able to discuss those things with. And that's important to us. But at the same point in time, you've got to have the outlet. But at the same time, sometimes this spouse isn't on that level. And maybe even if they're working in the field or not, or you need the additional support and help of somebody other than your spouse that you can take it to.
Whether it be professional,
yes,
or a coworker,
a pastor, clergyman, whatever.
I did that. We went through. I had that bad accident, and it rocked my world.
Yep.
I was going to give up my career. I was still a fairly new medic, and I was the driver, and we were beat that day, and I fell asleep. So
it took a long time for you to even be able to discuss that. You didn't want people talking about it. You didn't want people knowing about it, things like that. But
Well, I was also shunned for it.
Exactly. Just because you had an accident, like a lot of us are acceptable to do. And I discuss a lot about that in my classes. And one of my favorite topics when we go talking about classes, my classes, is ambulance safety. Not just because of that, because it's so important. I learned so many things being a first responder and growing from that and learning that, how we drive the ambulance is important.
It is.
But making sure we're safe.
I didn't do anything wrong driving the ambulance. It comes to a whole nother topic of, being tired and being at work and knowing your limits, and not thinking that you're invincible because you are the ambulance, and you're definitely not invincible.
No.
But it took me a long time. I didn't go back to the ambulance for
it took
over a month, right?
Yeah, it was over a month for you.
I was going to give up. I was going to quit, and it was a private service. My boss called me into the office and said, "I need you to come back." And one boss was "I need you back," and let's get you through this. And the other one was like, "You ruined my business. I want you out." Mm-hmm. So
which that's a whole different aspect of it.
We won't go into that, but it took a lot, and anyone who knew me or knows me has known me for a while. Mm-hmm. It's funny now. They called me shy and timid. I was very shy and timid when I first started in this field. It took a lot for me to speak up and do things. As an EMT, I was able to stay back and help and do things and speak up, but not as a paramedic level. And then when I took on that paramedic level, I was better. I made good decisions, but I think I was still a little shy. Mm-hmm. And after getting over that accident and kind of putting myself back out there and a couple of people building me up, I feel like I became pretty strong. Mm-hmm. And I'm now very willing to speak up and speak my mind on a lot of things. And one day I'll be able to talk about this and hopefully maybe build people up and help them through things like this. I would love to, but I think if it hadn't have been for you, Brandy, Reese, a few other people, as much as I hate to admit it, Marcus Scott, called me and talked to me. And it is people just built me back up and reminded me that I wasn't a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. But if anyone thinks that I don't think about that accident and that it doesn't bring me to tears and that I can't smell it and visualize it and experience it on almost a daily time, whatever, they're wrong. It stays with you.
It does. And I think that's where those things like that, that's a personal accident that you had. For me, it tends to be, I didn't have anything major accident like that affected my career, but the thought process of losing one of our firefighters in an accident, those memories of 5 days sitting at the fire station with all my brothers and sisters and just trying to figure out what the heck we're going to do next, how that we work the week out. Then on top of that, the calls that we deal with on a regular basis, a lot of people, I think that's the thing is it gets me is they said, oh, I know how to leave things at the door when I go into the house. And no matter what you do, it stays with you.
I mean, you still think about, Hampton.
Oh, 100%. Yes. And he's a super nice guy. I think about, I Facebook friends with family and of his and his children and things like that. And just seeing them go through life and knowing that, they're without because he was on a call and had an accident, it makes a difference. And I think that's only part of what, that affects my life where it affected theirs a lot different.
I will say that, I had very few, close experiences with what happens,
But
when Chad Wessels passed away, I was kind of on the sidelines. I didn't see all the intricate details of all that. The paramedic in Morrow Falls, Stephanie. I didn't see all the big things of that. I went to the funerals of some of them, but to be up close and personal to this one, to Hampton, and seeing all these services come in and say, I got you.
Right.
Go sit down. And telling you guys to leave. Of course, you guys wouldn't leave.
Yeah, no.
But we got you. We'll take these calls. We'll take your area. You deal with this and you help each other. And we'll take these calls. And we'll take your city and we'll take care of it. And it was huge. It was a lot. Makes me tear up just thinking about it. But you guys helped each other out. Right. And the community came together for this. It was huge. And I love seeing that,
Right. And that's dealing with that line of duty, a death and stuff like that.
And the same thing happened with all these others too.
Right. Yeah. And that's one of the podcasts I want to talk about later, is how we deal with that. Cause I've got a really good friend who's with Texas line of duty death, and I'm going to get him in here one day. One of these days. He keeps wanting to get me to buy it.
Is this the one that wants you to come out and do it?
Yeah, he wants me to go do it by the fire. And I'm like, gosh, I can't. It's hard to pack up all this crud. I've got so much stuff here. But I think with that mental aspect of this job, and it's not part of just a job. I mean, you watch a guy who works on an 8 to 5, Monday to Friday, the bank. The guy from the bank goes home and he don't think about, well, how do I fix this? How do I make more money? How do I correct these? It's a job. He's usually able to leave those things.
Shuts his computer off.
He's usually able to leave those things at the office, at the office door. When he shuts the computer down, he goes off. And I will tell you, there's a lot of times that even now that I'm in the office and doing and teaching, that it's easy to turn off the computer and go do what I got to do after my 5 o'clock day is over. It's very easy. As a first responder, we don't have that ability. We don't have the ability to turn the switch off and say, well, that 24 or 48 hours is over. I'm good. Because you know what happens? Whatever you think you're walking away from comes back to bite you in the rear end.
I can tell you. So just like the deaths and things like that, the bad calls that go on. Yes, those are obviously ones, but there's other things in our day that happen, right? Like, did we make the right call on something? Not just the ones that died, but just, did I do the right thing? Or
did I miss something?
Did I miss that? How did I miss that? And someone else is like, this was going on. Or you get into an argument with the hospital or the doctor. I notoriously
You're really good about arguing doctors. I don't understand why. It makes no sense. Why argue with them? They are a doctor. They went to school a long time. Just saying. It's kind of like arguing with your husband. Pointless.
Yeah, well, the doctors are great. Anyway. I get that one. So it's anything. You get into an argument with your partner or, you and your partner just... It happens, believe me. It's not good fits, right? Or someone else within the office or anything. Something in the community happens. It doesn't truly affect you, but it affects you. And then you think about it and think about it and think about it. And then you go home and you think about it some more. And your wife or your husband's like, you're home now. You're home now. And you're like, yeah, but I'm not. It's still there.
Yep, it's still in the distance.
So we need to learn how to deal with that. So like James said, this is going to be a two-parter. But there are things that we can do, and we'll talk about that after we come back from break. But it doesn't, when we talk about the things that you're bringing home, it's not just the bad, ugly calls. It's a lot of things.
You're looking at any
PTSD. If you actually go back and look at it, there, has been around forever, and they just didn't label it PTSD.
Oh yeah, it's fairly new diagnosis, and it's not something that just everybody's worried that the guys coming back from war, things like that this is a diagnosis for them, that it doesn't pertain to us, and I'm sorry, but 100% believe there's such thing as PTSD in the first responder world. I think running the calls, seeing the trauma, seeing the devastation in different, when you're talking to a wife who her husband has passed away due to a heart attack, and you've done 20, 30 minutes worth of work on him without getting him back, and you've got to discuss that. If that doesn't affect you, then you're missing some part of your heart.
Not only that, you dealt with listening to her the whole time you're working.
Yeah, I mean, have her in the background nagging.
Or the accidents that we worked, that we, to work so hard to extricate, get him in the ambulance, do everything you need to do, get him on the road, and you think, oh, yes, he's got a chance. And we get him somewhere, and will you get off my cord? Okay. And doesn't make it. So then you go home, it's like, man, what could I have done?
Could I have done
what did
more?
I miss?
And we discussed that a lot of times. Is there anything we could miss? Is there anything more we could have done? I like to use that analogy of one of the big wrecks you had in one of my teaching classes, because of the fact of,
what?
One of the wrecks you ran. Don't worry about it. This is super awesome. But
am I awesome, or the wreck was awesome?
Well, it was, yeah.
Wait, did you give me a compliment that I don't know about?
Yeah, I give you compliments all the time you don't know about.
Wow.
I know. Constantly, but I mean,
big wreck?
Well, it was a 2-car wreck. You lost a patient in it, but yeah, it was just about triage. I use it during my triage discussions.
Yeah.
So, but I think that aspect of how we handle things like that makes a difference. And when we get home, and that the fact that, we're still constantly thinking about those things. We lay down and close our eyes, and we're seeing the pictures, we're seeing the video, we're seeing the thoughts in our brain that are running, and not being able to get rid of those things are important to us. I think not only that, but the aspect of, like I said, we don't always take the uniform off. So we're going down the road, and I do this probably way more often than you do, but I go down the road and see an accident. I'm pulling over. I know there's something about me that just says, hey, I'm going to hop in here and get my, we're going to get to work, Somebody may need
I really
help.
hate doing that, though. I swear there's a certain department that every time that happens, and I pull over and I help out, and it's like, we're here. Go away. We're good.
Why do that?
Why? I have just assessed and triaged and kind of filtered that for you. And I went to school just like you did.
I really do look at it and say, you know what? If I identify myself as I'm a paramedic, and I, for the city of Vernon, or if I, and I have identified myself as a paramedic, then I should hold some weight in your shoes. And if you
even
come
just
to me,
say, hey, thanks a lot. We got it from here.
Yeah. If I pull up to the scene in the ambulance, and you're the one who said, hey, I just did an assessment, and he's done this going on, and you say, I'm a paramedic with such and such, I don't care where you're a paramedic. I'm going to listen to you to give you some validity, at least until we get him an ambulance, and then we go through and finish our assessment.
But even those things bother me. Like, I go home and I think of that. That just bothers the living double hockey sticks out of me.
We can say ass, but you can't say hell.
It's stupid. Because then I think, what? Am I stupid? Am I not good enough for you? Oh, you're better than me? And it gets me down.
Which makes no sense at all, because we all have been to the same school. We all work and do the same thing.
It's funny, because at the same time, when they're like pushing me aside, I'm thinking,
the bad thing is
you
don't
could
know
help
how
lucky you are. I'm not about to punch you.
Right? You want me to hold C-spine? I can hold C-spine for you. I can do more than that. I mean, ultimately, there's some places that they have their protocols are allowed to work outside of their the response area with their medical director, and they actually, by the time you get there, they could have an IV established, be all kinds of stuff.
No, honestly, I don't know that I'd ever do that unless it was really needed. It drives me insane. I am not one of those medics that carries a jump bag in my car.
No, I don't either. Heck, I'm lucky
that
if I
drives
got
me
gloves.
insane. You know what? No. I don't put a license plate on my car saying I'm a medical person.
No.
I don't need that because if I have my grandchild with me, guess who's not stopping?
Yeah, and I agree. And there's been a lot of instances where
Happened in Colleen.
where somebody gets injured from pulling over to stop and help,
And then you're putting your child at risk because do they get out? Because they're going to be frantic. They just saw you get hit with a car.
I mean, I've got a good friend of mine that pulled over and to help somebody out. And he's not even a medic. He just pulled over to help somebody change the tire and hit him.
Yeah.
And
His wife couldn't find him for a long time, right?
I mean, he almost died over it.
Yeah.
Major injuries.
Crazy.
But, I think we're going to take a break here quickly. Let's take a quick break.
Damn time. My God. I gave you a hint.
Well, I know we're right here at the halfway point, but I really want to talk about what we can do that may not make it to where we take that uniform off, but at least be able to live with these things a little bit longer and to be able to manage that mental health before it gets too far.
You know where to go with that? Do you know what to say?
Yeah, somewhere.
You do?
Yeah.
You got it written down?
No.
Are you just flying by the seat of your pants?
Man, I am really good at winging stuff. Can we take a break now?
Please take a break. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back. Hey guys, James here. Are you looking to recertify your NREMT? CE Solutions NREMT program is an all-inclusive and will give you all the course required by the NREMT for recertification. Whether you're an EMR, an EMT, an advanced EMT, or a paramedic, CE Solutions has a package for you. Visit www.ems-ce.com for more details. Hey, we're back. Whoa, what is up with the... Put that down. Sipping a little too much. Sipping.
So, James. Hello.
Hey,
how are you doing?
Great.
So what, James Schutz, are you going to give people to help them cope?
To cope?
Yes.
Coping and how we take off the uniform?
Yes. I mean, we take the uniform off one leg at a time.
I agree.
But
Take it off one leg at a time. But how do we manage waking up every day and not having those calls? Well, you're still going to have them no matter what.
I unfortunately wake up every morning to you.
The biggest thing that we are not utilizing near enough. What? I don't know what you said.
Okay, what?
What did you just say?
None.
I can replay the tape and find out what you said.
Well, I know. It's going to be funny when you do.
But anyways, so, I think one of the biggest things we can use right after the call within 24 hours is debriefings. Mm-hmm. I think that is probably our...
And how do you get to debriefing?
Contact your local area that has a debriefing team.
Okay.
Some trained medical professionals, mental health professionals that really can get together and allow you to talk about that.
So who do you call, though?
I don't know who initially...
Would you call your emergency management guy for the county?
Maybe.
Would you call your local pastor?
I would for sure
guys?
call my pastor.
So, way back when it was here, Cindy Edwards would come and talk to us.
Oh, Cindy, why? Cindy would come talk?
She did. Yeah. She came in and we sat down and we talked about the call. It was a really bad call. And I was the one that was having the problem. So it was over the 48 hours. But when I finally came up and said, I got a problem, because I literally went and sat at and this is nuts. I literally went and sat at the funeral home in the room with this young man's body for 2 hours. I didn't know him.
Wow.
I didn't know him, but I was at the accident that he died from. And I took care of the mother. And so I related to this mother as a mother. And I had guilt because I wasn't honest with her about what was happening. So I reached out and someone said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. We didn't realize, you were having this problem. Let's get together and let's talk about it." So everybody that was on that call showed up and we all talked, and she came and sat and talked with us and everything, and it helped a lot. Sometimes that's all you need is just talk about it.
I think that's part of it initially is speak up.
Yeah.
speak out, speak up, and speak out.
Yeah, because if you're not at least honest with your partner, I would normally probably start there, talk to my partner, and then go from there. Talk to my supervisor, say, yeah, this isn't going to work. We need help, and get someone there to do a debriefing. And I think there's more professional debriefings that you can acquire. But it's not just, we had one in Llano for a little boy that drowned, and I did not participate. I was not there, but it was there. They included the medics, they included the fire department, they included the police officers, the hospital staff. They included everybody.
And that's usually is how it should be. I mean, I know we had one major accident scene that I had a partner of mine who was there, and we went to the debriefing because ultimately it involved children, and he was super, upset about these kids who were involved in this accident and had passed away in it, and it made a difference. It made an impact on him.
You had a problem with that one too,
huh?
Are you talking about the?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we were there together, and it made it really made a difference. I still see that accident scene in my brain on a regular basis.
With me and him, we know we know what calls bothered each other. It's even this many years out. I mean, we've been together
a long time. we've been married
almost 15 years.
Yeah.
And we went to school together. We talked about everything together. We have this common thing that we can discuss, and so we know what bothered each other, what didn't. We don't know patient names, we don't know HIPAA stuff, but we know the logistics of the call. Yeah. And so we talk. We do our own little debriefing sometimes. I call him after a call. I've called him in the med room of a hospital, standing in a corner ready to bawl, and saying, "Oh my God, I'm awful. I can't do this anymore." And him say, "Okay, well, that's a little melodramatic, but let's talk about it."
Right.
And even to now, I said something to him the other day that I felt like, because I got off the truck, that I was just this terrible medic that, no one's going to want, because I've never not been a medic since being a medic. I've never not been on an ambulance. This is weird. It's weird.
It does get weird, for sure.
So much so that I'm like, okay, I gotta get a part-time job. we're done. I can't.
So if you're hiring a local ambulance services around here, hiring for
Jennifer needs a part-time job so she can stay sane.
But I think debriefings is where we start with. Telling our partners,
talking to your partners, talking to whoever,
and speaking up that you have a problem.
Not HIPAA. Don't go talk to your neighbor about it.
No, but speak up and let somebody know. I said when we don't let that information out there, when we don't discuss it, hey, this is really bothering me. Hey, how do you handle this? And I can't sleep. I'm not normally sleeping, or I tend to find myself drinking a little more often to try getting rid of the images, or God forbid, moving into some kind of
drug
usage, things like that.
Addiction of some sort
that you need to get rid of it. You don't want to do that to yourself. So I think debriefings is our first thing we look to.
Well, sorry. It's bad when you breathe wrong.
I do that all the time. At least that's what you tell me.
It's not only that. This is huge. So, like, a lot of people, if you're a tougher person, I know some people that would be this way. It's okay. Suck it up. Suck it up.
Yeah,
we're good.
That's not how this should be handled.
Let's go work out. Let's go do this. Let's go. And that's a great idea. Go do some physical activity, but you got to talk. Mm-hmm. So when this happens to you, and I promise you, new EMTs, new paramedics, it will. Mm-hmm. You will have that day, if not many. Don't be scared to talk about it. Don't be afraid to approach someone because of what they're going to think or say about this, because they've done it. I can guarantee you.
Oh yeah, they've done it. They've been part of it, and if not, they haven't been doing this very long.
But this is such a huge thing. They have dogs, service dogs for PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
They have programs, which we'll get into later because it's a two-parter, for first responders because of PTSD.
Yep.
They have statistics for suicide for first responders. This is big. And this isn't just EMS. This isn't just fire. It's police officers, your volunteers, your road and bridge people that, you were there. Sometimes you were the first people on the scene because it happened right in front of you.
Yep. Makes a difference. Mm-hmm.
So, I can't even, there's a group that I'm thinking of and I can't get it out.
I know we've talked about them before, and they send a group out there to come out and debrief you and help out with that.
But some counties actually they employ someone who does this.
Who does grief management.
Yep. And so just ask. Don't be afraid. Don't worry about what people are going to say. Do what you need to do for your own mental health.
And if you're in a situation where you don't want to talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends, you're worried about that being looked at as less, then go to your chief, talk to your chief in private, and then tell your chief you would like to seek counseling, and go see a private counselor. Nobody has to know. And it doesn't make you seeking, if we're an EMS and we're seeking mental health, because seeking help for our mental health due to a call
then you're being responsible.
During our call thing. Yeah, you're being responsible for yourself and your own mental health. And that's what we have to be. We see guys at the fire station who are working out all the time, running all the time, things like that. There are other aspects, not just our bodies that are put at risk here. Our minds are put at risk while we're out there dealing with these calls. And sometimes you have to see a doctor for a sprain or a broken arm or something like that. Sometimes you got to see a doctor for your mental health. And there's nothing wrong with seeing a psychologist and saying, hey, I just need somebody to listen to me and tell me how to deal with and cope with the situation. I think there's a lot of benefits to that. And there's a lot of parts of us that before we start to get to the depression side, before we start to get to those other aspects where it's dealt with it so long, before it gets too far, we have to take a hold of it and do something with it.
And like us, if you're a couple that work together or work in the same field, if you see that happening for your spouse, say something,
Support
speak
them.
up. Yeah,
and not only that, but if you see it and they don't really want to confront it,
a coworker,
call somebody. Yeah. You make the call to the chief and say, hey, he's not sleeping at night no more. He's not, he doesn't seem the same. He seems aggravated. He's drinking more, this and that. It's not calling somebody out, and it's sure as heck not pushing buttons. What it's doing is you're seeing something and wanting somebody to get help. I think ultimately that's where we're at. and that's what we want to do, is make sure that we're there. What is he doing in here? What is he doing in here?
You can't be here. Oh,
hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna eat your face.
Oh, I love you too.
Everybody, welcome. This here is Clyde.
Oh.
Clyde is a 7-week-old Great Dane. Yep. You'll see him and Bonnie both have their own Instagram. Yeah. Or they've got an Instagram. So yeah, but they're hanging around the house.
They're not supposed to be in here.
No, but it happens.
I'll be right back.
Okay, you take them back, but yeah. So talk to somebody. Get somebody help, and if it's your loved one, your spouse, what have you, make sure that you're able to get them the additional help that they need. Don't wait. Sometimes you wait, and if you wait too long, it's not good. At that point in time, they turn around and they may turn around and end up injuring themselves or hurting themselves, and you don't want that to happen. And we've got to recognize the signs and symptoms of that depression, of that PTSD that is in front of you. So
I'm back.
Oh, that took a whole minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
So some other things we can do.
Yep. What's some other things?
Okay. So like I said, if your spouse, not even your spouse, oh my gosh, your coworker, your friend, your neighbor, whatever, you see them struggling, talk to them. Talk to their spouse, talk to whoever you need to get them some help. So what are some other things you can do for your mental health? And I'm trying to not bring up what we want to bring up
Find an outlet
for next podcast. But meditation. You know, James made fun of me a while back. And I admit that it was kind of comical because I kept doing it before he would come to the room.
I think she would irritate me with it.
I would do it before he'd come into the room because I was like, he's going to make fun of me. But on my old little phone here, I have this app. And I would have never done this in the past. It's funny. Kind of. Mindfulness. It's called Mindfulness. It's in the App Store. And it goes over meditation. So every night before I went to bed, I would, get comfy, have everything. And the nice thing is once you set it, it would do its little program and then it'd shut the phone off for you. You didn't have to turn it off. You didn't have to do anything. It just turned off. So I would set it up for a 3-minute meditation, 3 to 5 minute meditation. I didn't sit in the position and all that. I just kind of got in my comfort level and I listened to it.
Which was head on a pillow and eyes closed.
Going to sleep. But I would listen to it. I did listen to it. And then it'd start telling you to breathe a certain way and it'd count. And then all of a sudden, next thing I know, I'd wake up the next morning.
Yeah. I mean, meditation does work.
I mean, for all I know, it had me out in the rain dancing the rain dance. I don't know. But I slept better. Yeah. And I felt better. And yoga. Yoga is a good outlet for, and someone was making fun of it the other day and kind of thought it was funny, that, they were talking about jazzercise and stuff in some 80s video about breathing. But truly, breathing exercises are good for you.
Yes.
Not only physically, but mentally. Because I just felt like cold air from her opening up the door.
It's cold outside, I'm telling you. It's freezing.
But breathing exercises, because I don't even, there's a medical reason for it, but it helps to sit there and concentrate on your breathing.
I think that works.
Clear your mind.
I think that works. I do believe that the meditation does help. I've seen that and I've tried it. I've done it. Where I run the app on the phone.
He was asking me to turn it. Can you turn that app on? You wouldn't even say, can you turn on the meditation? He'd say, will you turn that app on?
Right. I mean, it does help. But at the same time, I think that we look at that and see that, and then we turn around and not only that, but you have exercise. People use running, going to the gym, going and running, things like that.
Because I don't know about y'all, but James and I, we put in our earbuds, turn our music on. We have way too different style musics, and we work out. Now, while I'm doing that, I may think about what's going on, but I'm working it. I'm working it through in my head, and it helps.
Yep. And those are finding the additional besides looking at drinking it, doing drugs, something else like that to hide it.
Yeah.
Find healthy outlets.
And we do the little podcast. We have the drink. We talk about the drink. But in all reality, we don't drink that much.
No, not really. Wait a minute. Don't tell everybody.
Well, maybe you do.
I do. I drink a lot.
I'm just kidding. No. We're responsible, right? Drink responsible. But it's not an answer. Drinking is not an answer. No. And we, hey, I had a rough day. I need a beer. Okay, fine. That's good.
A shower beer is qualified as a relaxing thing.
A what?
A shower beer.
What is a shower?
Have you ever heard of a shower beer?
No.
Oh my goodness. Drink a beer in the shower. When you're taking a shower first thing in the morning, you drink a beer.
I don't have time for that.
Oh, yeah. When you get off shift, you go straight to the house for a shower. You get you a beer while you're doing it. They actually make a shower beer holder that attaches to the. When we build the new house will have a cup holder in the shower for that beer.
Well, I was going to ask you to put in a wine holder for me.
Yeah, I mean, same difference except for it's beer.
In the bath.
Okay, you get it in the bath. I'm going to get the shower. Beer,
no, but honestly, it's not an excuse, right?
No,
it's not how we heal from what's going on in our minds.
Not at all. Drink responsibly.
Yes, please. ask for help, meditate, yoga.
Yes.
We're going to give you some really good ideas next podcast.
Yes,
well.
if everything works out well with us, either we're looking at doing some things.
If not, we're really going to be struggling to pull up some more resources out of our ass.
No. I think either way, if we can be in contact with the right people, they can get us. If we can't get them here, we can get the resources.
We have a couple of things we want to do, and it's we really want to put this mental health out there. It's huge.
I think the numbers of responders who have committed suicide due to it's just crazy.
There was a famous rescue that happened, and later on, years and years and years down the road, it was just a couple of years ago, I found out that responder killed himself.
Yeah,
because he didn't feel like he did what he should have done.
Yep,
he didn't. It took so long to help this person.
Yeah,
but honestly, I think they did an awesome job.
No lie.
And
short term.
To get done what they did in the amount of time that they did, it's but he didn't feel like he did a good job, and it weighed on him, and he weighed on him, and weighed on him, and he killed himself.
Yep.
Which helps nobody. It helps nobody, because then you're leaving people to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, and I think really how that manages and how we deal with that is it's a whole different world.
It is. It is. So, where are we at?
Well, we're about ready to wrap this episode up. So we got we can prepare ourselves for the next one. So then up next we've got some in part 2 of this, we're really going to discuss. We've got some things we're working on. We're going to get that out. Ultimately, guys, when it comes to mental health, we don't ever take this uniform off. We put it on. We may take the uniform physically off, but the mental aspect stays with you until forever. And you're going to.
And that's everybody.
Yeah.
Police.
It doesn't matter how long you've been in this field. There are guys that we've heard. You can hear interviews from that are, been working as police officers or fire EMS since they're, and they're in their 80s, and they're like, yeah, I remember that. I remember my first CPR. I remember, I remember it like it was yesterday. This call, that. Those things, they make a difference. They stay with you. And if you're having trouble managing some of those difficult situations, please, 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 please talk to somebody. Talk to somebody. Let somebody know and get the help you need to help debrief you, to help get you through the situation. I'd hate to see anybody lose their career or quit their career because of that. It does happen a lot. I mean, a lot of times we see people say, after that big major call, I can't do this no more. It's not me. My heart's not in it anymore. And I've got a good friend he told me not too long ago. He says that the last call I had was with the kid, and it affected me, and I'm ready to get out. I'm done.
I had a coworker that was there's an alcoholic. And why was he an alcoholic? Well, there's a number of reasons. I think one of them was his father, and he watched the downfall of his father. I talked to another medic that said the same thing. They watched this happen with this medic, and then when he got with me, he was already an alcoholic. And we had plenty of talks in that ambulance. Yeah. And it just, he's still alive, but he's no longer a medic because he let it best him. Yeah. And I hate that, because he was one of the best medics I knew. But you guys, I'm just Jennifer Schutz from Burnett, Texas. But if I can help you out, and you don't have anybody to reach out to,
the Whiny Medics
email. We have a Whiny Medics email, and I'm more than happy to listen to you.
WhinyMedics@gmail.com. Send us an email. If you need to talk to somebody, we can message you. We can email back and forth. Heck, I'll give you my phone number. Yep. We can make a phone call and make it happen. I ain't afraid to talk to anybody. Nope. I do it all the time. So we're here to be an outlet for you guys if you need it. But ultimately, so I think we wrap this one up and call it dead. And we'll leave on a good note. On a good note, the table has survived the first podcast.
There's no marks. There's no spills.
It's pretty. It's. I'm going to put some pictures up here of the table so you see what actually it is.
The biggest thing, we're going to have to get used to having our feet on the floor.
Yeah, our feet are on the floor instead of sitting up there. And
Schutz was nice enough to give me a table that I could sit down in. Yeah. Because I kept complaining that my feet, I'm short, and so my feet would hang And I couldn't get comfortable. So.
I like it. We've got room for activities with more people. We can add in a few extra people to make this podcast. So we can play
cards at this table.
I actually thought about it. If this table does end itself out into my bar, if we end the podcast at any point in time, this becomes the best poker table around. It's probably one of the most expensive ones. Probably one of the most expensive poker tables.
Listen, guys, I got to tell y'all a story. So James, and he'll put the pictures up there. He got these little pieces of wood, and he put them all together, cut them all down, glued them all together. And we're out there, me and Layla, I don't know how many, and David all out there helping him put these together and clamp them together. And then he decided, I'm going to paint each one. We had 4 colors. Yeah. And they're different colors. So
they're all stained.
We had this beautiful red, natural, brown, whatever wood. Looked pretty.
Yep.
And then he sanded it.
Yeah, we lost some of the stain. Some of the stain's still there. You can still see it. It's
Get off my cord.
You can see the stain there faintly. So
then he cut it out.
Yeah.
And then some of his pour got messed up, so he had to dig it out. And then we poured again. He did all this, not me. And then
it's an epoxy fill.
In the end, I helped him sand it. I broke about 4 sanding belts. Anyway, then he decided, screw this flood business. I'm just going to burn it. So we now have this table that has had like 3 different designs to it, but we're good. And it looks pretty.
It does.
And my feet are on the floor.
Your feet are on the floor?
Now I just need a more comfy chair.
Well, we'll get that. Those are next in the works. Yeah. But with that, we are out of here. Bye.